Let's get things started. Gundam fight all set. Ready? Go!
Hello, folks. This is Ironcaster here with the Mechpit chat for you. And guys, I am sorry. Last week I had my desk completely tore apart. It was just everything was gone. I had pulled up the old desk. I had everything unplugged, upgraded the PC, but we are up and rolling, and here we are. Folks, this is what, July 8th. We are halfway through the year. That's kind of a surprising thought. It feels like just yesterday I was, celebrating New Year's, but here we are. Let's see how we're doing out there, folks, because Bad Gamergate is here, and he's all about that grandizer. Hello, sir. I hope you're still out there. As always, we have the legendary David Glenn. Howdy, folks, and hello to you, sir. It is going good because it's Monday. We made it through another week, and look, I've always been of the opinion that I think that Monday is in fact not the worst day of the week, much as all that big Garfield propaganda would leave you to think. Because look, it's so common. Everyone says they hate Monday, and that's really just because what, you got to go to work. Well, yeah, work sucks, but you're well rested from the weekend, aren't you? I know I am. Look, I tore a desk apart. I got to upgrade stuff. I got to have a nice, relaxing weekend. I'm fully charged for the week. It's just tomorrow's Tuesday, and Tuesday is the worst day of the week. Little known fact. But let's see. Of course, we have Tits and Ray Guns, which is one of the best combinations out there. Hello. Welcome to the Mechpit chat. And as always, the legendary Vince Womack. Hello, sir. And you ran. Yep. Oh, I totally get that. There are no days off for you. They're all the same. So there's really no good day, bad day. Just whatever came that day. Oh, we got to replace a fence post? Yeah, let's go do that. Oh, an animal ran away? Okay, yeah, now that sucks. Philip A. Demrick, hello and happy Mecha Monday. It is going. We are rocking and rolling, and things are pretty good. Unfortunately, I kind of missed last week, so I had a little bit of news. I guess I overlooked. So why don't we jump into a little bit of that, because hey, what's been going on this week? Of course, let's see here. Well, this actually play. Hey, Ronan, welcome. Just what's up? Just rocking and rolling here, and we are covering just a little bit of news, something that I think might be of interest to you. In fact, since you're still here, because, well, as far as anime announcements go, well, hey, we're all there. We're all enjoying this stuff. So let me start first and foremost by kind of talk about one of the things that kind of popped up in my feed, and that is one of my favorite franchises right now of all time. Kamen Rider is, as it turns out, getting another anime adaptation, and in this case, we are getting a new anime movie. Kamen Rider Skull is coming, and which is going to act as a continuation, or I suppose in this case prequel to Futo PI, which was a sequel to Kamen Rider W, the 2-in-1 hero. By the way, guys, if you haven't checked it out, Ronin66 put out a short today. It was an absolute banger. Just kind of talk about the influence that Kamen Rider and its infamous rider kick has had on anime and a lot of pop culture in general. Like, you'd be surprised at some of the places you'll find this stuff. And no, don't worry, it's not live action. No, we're getting more animated. In fact, what this is, and we can try risk it. Although really the trailer doesn't show too much. What this is, what this is going to be is a prequel about the mentor to the two heroes of his adventures as a little bit of his adventures as Kamen Rider Skull. So, coming to us from comicbook.com. It's coming back to the screens as Futo PI will be bringing Kamen Rider back to anime with a new movie. Let's see. The series takes place after the events of the 20th Kamen Rider franchise entry overall, Kamen Rider W. While fans got to see W itself in action through lots of fights with Dopants, there will be a few stories from the original series to explore and a future potential for the anime. Now it's actually coming back to fulfill that potential. Oh, wait. Vince? Oh, dude, you're watching Geats. Dude, Geats is so good. Geats is my favorite. The reason why, like, there's a reason why this I think it's probably one of the better ones they picked up to bring over, because I think it works really well, especially with a lot with all the video game stuff. I think that works, especially I think that one works to kind of bring people into it as a franchise. There's no continuity with other series you have to understand. Not that you ever really have that with the other ones, but with all the video game stuff, Fortnite and everything like that rolling on, like, it works, I think, pretty good for that. Oh, I have to wonder though if it isn't because the name is like is one of the things that, like, the top chat tries to not show. I mean, that's possible. Okay. So Kamen Rider Geats is one of the live action series that is, like, currently available in a lot of places, such as Tubi, Pluto TV sometimes airs it. I believe the YouTube streams from Shout Factory with Tokushoutsu will sometimes air it as well. So you even find it on YouTube. Basically, it is Squid Game meets Fortnite, where you have your masked heroes getting power ups to fight. So hopefully that might entice you, because it is a heck of a ride. And if you're coming from a world of being more familiar with your more traditional Western superheroes, your Marvels, your DCs, you're probably going to wind up enjoying it and seeing how kind of crazy powerful they can get us at times. The choreography is pretty decent, which is a lot to be said for some of the more recent Marvel stuff. It just hasn't been up to stuff. You can actually see what's going on. That's one of the craziest things that, like, I just cannot stand with some of these. Like, in order to save on the CGI, they have to fight us in the dark. I'm not a fan. Which is why I'm all over them with Counter. Like, if they're gonna go to the Tokusatsu quarry to film half this stuff, I'll watch it there. Anyway, so Futo PI is coming back with a new feature film project, Portrait of Kamen Rider Skull, which will focus on Shotaro Hidari's mentor, Sokichi Narumi, who transforms into the titular Kamen Rider Skull. His is a story that ties to the events of Kamen Rider W. And this means that all in the film will feature returning cast, productions, studio for the big comeback. You can check out the announcement trailer. And yeah, we just a little bit more details, but I'm assuming that if we're going to see this appear, if this is going to come to the West, then I can only assume it'll probably be on Crunchyroll, just because Futo PI was on there as well. And here, let me pull up a picture of this dude, because he is spectacular. In fact, this is what I imagine, like, superhero, like, Latino slant looks like. Like, and I'll show you what I mean. It's because of the hat. Let me see here. And this is someone's fan art, but it does the trick, because look at this. That's Latino slant. It's Polly. He's gotta have a hat. Tell me I'm wrong. Like he's even like been in live. He's even been in live action, and yes, he wears the hat. Look, look, no, look, no, wait, Dave, it gets better. Look, he's got the mustache. Look at that. He's got the mustache. It got even better. Oh. Oh yeah, no. Yeah, we should do that. We should like go bug Polly and tell him he's and show him pictures of it as this is his, because if 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 Mexican Iron Man Mike is going to be shown all the pictures of Tequila Gundam, then we got to do this for Polly with another Japanese hero. So we got both of them locked down now, and it's just a matter of we're slowly like going and picking out and figuring out who else is going to be what. For example, I don't know, for Brandon the Enemy Guy, let's pick a cat girl for him. We've already got him wearing the cat ears, so it's just a matter of you got to find an appropriate cat girl. Don't tell anyone I said this. Oh. All right, let me reset here because I've gotten sidetracked. Oh. So, and all my 50 tabs I have up here. Apparently, I failed to notice that this Futa PI movie is coming out on what? November 8th. So then perhaps that means by come spring it'll wind up over on it'll wind up outside of the state. And why is my green screen acting up? It's probably just I gotta fix my lighting. I will work on this different setup. I lost the light. That is. I don't know. Oh, actually, since I might as well at least show you something of it. We do have a poster. Boom. There we go. There's Polly with his hat. By the way, Vince, thank you so much for dropping all the links links in the chat. You without you, like I would be half as effective here. So thank you. You are like the best of wrenches. Yeah. So what else was coming out this week? Well, we of course had what one of the couple things I put in the description was for Grendizer U. And I know that Bad Gamergate is all about that. He's more than excited for this. And we got the first episode, and to my knowledge, I don't even think it's anywhere else. You have to go sail with the Straw Hats to catch it. You're pretty good too. Yeah, so Grendizer U is out, and as it stands, like this is one that I'm not as this is one I'm not as familiar with, or rather that I'm not as familiar with. Grendizer U is like kind of a bit of a new one for me. I just know that it's one of like many things that Go Nagai has done, and I tell you, checking it out so far, it feels like a throwback in many ways. Something that I just have not really gotten a ton of, and something that feels like we're really kind of lacking on as of late. We don't. It's a lot of that kind of old school retro looking giant robot monsters, where they're kind of round, kind of clunky in some ways, but they just look cool. And then we also have aliens. And, I went in expecting, hey, we're going to have Mazinger Z show up. And he's awesome. He's kicking all kinds of ass. He's, the biggest and best around. Totally stomps the field with all the aliens until the captain shows up, and then oh no, he's in over his head, and you go from rooting for him yeah, he's gonna kick your ass, and then his hand gets blown up. You're like, oh, it's gonna be like that. Oh no. Which then leads to our boy Grindaja showing up. Like I said, I'm this is one I'm still kind of fresh to overall, but I am trying to learn. Totally awesome, and I can't wait to see more of this. Here, let me pop up. We'll just kind of pop up. We'll pop up the that's over here, and we'll go. No. Sorry, trying to different layouts. No. Yeah, we'll go with that. Wait a minute. Speaking of going with things.
Lancelot, launch!
We have a punk waddle.
I am here. Sorry I'm late.
No, buddy, you're good. You're good. It's the door's always open. It's never mandatory.
Yeah, but it's good to be here.
Well, I think you all the same. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. All things considered, the if y'all aren't aware, the weather system in Texas is a little bit interesting. I'm not on the coast, but we've got hit by some of the rains, and we're not so bad. But there's been a few bigger limbs falling in our yard and around town, but not as bad as so far that I've seen as some of the big, heavy trees that we lost about a month, 2 months ago, when we just kept getting inundated with rains and winds and rains and winds, where the ground was so soft that big old trees were falling down.
Apparently now you're a punk waffle.
Of all the misspellings that I've gotten, that sounds tasty.
Now, what would work with a punk waffle? Would it just be like a waffle with like purple whipped cream on top or something?
Well, I mean, okay, so I remember somebody was talking about boysenberry syrup recently. I think that was Brendan in the Animes chats. But some of that like boysenberry or huckleberry, like a purpley berry syrup, maybe compote jam, and then the whipped cream, I think would be a touch of beautiful.
Maybe it's like it's like boysenberries, and I feel like you gotta have some blueberries in there for good measures for the extra color.
Actually, yeah. I mean, blue, and that's a misnomer. Blueberries, actually, when they are natural and they are mixed up into jam, preserves, compote, they do have a bluish purple tint, which really is right on par. So we could have options.
We could, and that's the best thing with we got options. Just like our robots have a lot of optional parts.
It's true, and it's necessary.
So let me ask you: did you get a chance to check out Grendaza U yet?
No.
Oh, this is like this feels like this is basically kind of our big one mecha anime of the season right now. This is like the cream of the crop.
When did this one start? And where can I find it?
So this one I think aired about 3-4 days ago, and well, as Brandon would say, you might have to put on your pirate hat for this one.
Okay.
But so Grendaza U is tied in with like the Mazinger and a few of the other Go Nagai series that he's worked on.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
all right. Basically, it starts off with an amnesiastic hero who's basically fell from space.
Okay.
And he winds up in basically the care of our main hero from Koji of who's the main pilot of the Mazinger.
Okay.
And basically, and Koji goes around as sort of the big hero who goes around saving the day while piloting the Mazinger. You know, fighting robots that might appear here or there.
Mhm.
When aliens pop up and Mazinger starts to fight them. And things are going good for a while, but then he runs out of grunts to kill.
Okay.
And so you know how it goes. Like the special, like the red mobile suit shows up.
Oh no! 3 times faster. Wait, what?
Why don't I have a button for this? I don't have a button for that, but I do have this.
I like it.
And Mazinger just gets completely destroyed, which so we gotta like we gotta show that our big hero, our titular hero, is gonna show up and he's gonna be the super special.
Mm-hmm.
And he completely kicks ass. So
Yeah.
and the nice thing is this is like one of those legacy, legendary legacy big robot series that has been around since forever. So we're coming back. We're showing some appreciation for the greatest hits, like for the OGs that basically set everything in motion. Before there was Gundam, there was Mazinger Z.
Yeah. Yeah, the big robots. Yeah, because what? Brave Bang Bravern did a good homage, but it wasn't super. I mean, the Brave is tied into something, so that's fair, but it was its own story. This is okay. All right.
Right. Well, I mean, this, like I said, this kind of ties into that legacy of all these. So
Yeah.
it's not. Move the camera down. It's not. It's not so tied to that all that you need to like have the PhD in 70s mecha.
Yeah. Is that a grad level course yet? Because I'd go to school for that.
It might be a master's, so you might have to go take the Anime 101 with Professor Brandon.
Oh yeah.
See, yeah. I'm over here as sort of the special. I'm here as the specialist.
Okay. Go. Upper level classes, work study.
Exactly.
Okay. Adjunct advisor. All right.
So yeah, Mazinger or Grendizer U is airing, and hey, that's going. That's great. It's great to see. We always got to have at least one big robot series around.
Mm-hmm.
All the while, we still have all our other stuff going on, such as our Tokusatsu. Kamen Rider always has something. Always has an episode out. Super Sentai always has something out. And then there's the third sibling of that multi-headed dragon, or mecha dragon in this case, who he maybe doesn't have an episode out every single week, but shows up often enough that he's like kind of like the aloof brother who's often around a lot, but sometimes he's not there.
Okay.
And that would be our new boy, Ultraman Arc.
Yeah. The guy with the zip up onesie.
Yes. Now, I'm assuming you probably didn't see you probably haven't watched that, but I
watched the fight. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole episode.
That's fair. So as it stands, and I will change this over. Ultraman Arc is currently airing over on YouTube. Actually, I mean, it's airing on TV in Japan, but they're uploading episodes to YouTube
Okay.
for worldwide distribution,
Impressive.
yeah, God, it's so great to see that because, hey, here I am in the middle of the US able to get access to this stuff. I don't have to go through someone, from from Hawaii or San Francisco who kind of happens to pick up some, radio antenna signals. It's like I can lay in bed and I can watch this.
Very nice. Yeah. YouTube is becoming definitely a medium of great proportions.
I mean, like I said, this is all just straight up over on YouTube. You can watch this like right after the show. So that said, I put up for you guys I put up for for a couple of our little group chats the episode as well as the fight. What did you what did you think with that fight? Because I don't know if and I didn't realize it at first either, but it's one continuous shot.
Okay. There was a couple of spots where I wasn't sure about that, but yeah, because he did go out of frame, then came back in frame. They
But
obviously added some things.
But like the monster was in frame
the entire time. I want to say 45 seconds into it, I just realized, okay, this is just all the big monster physical props destroying a city, prop city, like all the things that we've loved since. Well, I mean, as far as America, since Super Sentai, Power Rangers, that kind of thing. But I know Ultraman and all that stuff was there beforehand. But the things we've grown up with in a practical awareness and I don't know, it got me. It's just fun. It's just fun to watch them battle it out with suits and wrestle, and the silliness of the physical fist. He's punching and slapping, like, yeah, it's like silly wrestlers with incredibly comedic costumes.
It really did feel like it was wrestling. Like there's a couple times where I'm like, oh, he's like Ultraman Arc has like manifested a light shield. And he's like bashing the monster with it, like he's like giving a chair to him.
I know he manifested this like plexiglass sort of just reflection shield thing, and he's just like once he has it created, he's just utilizing any way he can see fit. Yeah.
It's like a sumo ballet.
I can't argue with that.
So let me ask, does this make you want to check out the series?
Yeah, kind of does.
Oh, good. Because so this airs for us. It's like Friday night, maybe about 8:00 Eastern.
Okay.
And it's like a live premiere. And yeah, it's so much fun because it's one of those bigger franchises that we are seeing a slow, steady increase in with sort of that attention in the West, especially now that the rights issues with, I think, Thailand. There's a director who's like trying to make some movies back in like the 70s that tried to claim he had the worldwide like legal rights to Ultraman as a whole. And so it always kind of really gummed it up. So there was a lot of restrictions on what they couldn't do. So there was never really that major push, because anytime they might have tried to make some traction or some movement, it just got completely flubbed over.
And yeah, it's funny how so much of those copyright ownership things are so muddled, and then you can see it in for creators like us today trying to do stuff on YouTube and getting flagged or false flagged for stuff that has nothing to do with anything. But there's just no really good structure for what it is, and it's a mess. Eh, But like I said, so they were able to figure out how to make this one work, and this one globally distribution as it comes out.
And it seems to me that like there was an article I shared. I remember talking about last year where Subaraya was talking about wanting to do a much larger global push. I mean, you've seen now just like how big this is in like China with like, and I think in Japan with like the Ultraman theme parks they have. Like it's big. In fact, during the video of it that's in YouTube, you can see like footage of like the Ultraman park where like there's like a big old like little bubble dome in the middle of like a giant diorama where kids can put their heads up and they can see these like 10-foot tall, there's like 10-foot tall like Ultraman fighting a giant like kaiju monster, and so this kid's like, whoa, it's like, where's the Spider-Man thing like this? Like, think about like a giant Sinister Six like diorama with like hell, you put in like Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Spider-Gwen fighting the Sinister Six all simultaneously. Like, there'd be some crazy stuff there you could show off.
Yeah.
Hell, throw in the Scarlet Spider and like Ben Reilly and every other Spider-Woman for that matter. You can have like six Spider heroes fighting six Spider-Man's villains.
And you're right, we don't have as many dioramas or just storytelling. We just have figures on display that kind of have a cool pose, but and sometimes you get a good sell of a a panel or whatever of a comic book that really shows kind of the story and progression, or like just a cover that shows a story. But yeah, to go to a park and be able to just see your heroes in a scene, see in action, see the movement would just capture the imagination of so many.
Well, you could even go, and I hope I can find this shot, but you could go and even have like, you could have it set up where like you could have like a little thing like a pop up where you can have the kid effective. You have like not just kids. You can have anyone kind of have this little diorama spot where like Spider-Man is gonna swing in, or like Spider-Man is like holding up a girder that was gonna fall on the kid, and so you have like someone doing a big like
or like that scene from the first Spider-Man movie where he's holding Tobey Maguire's holding the train from the elevated train from falling off the tracks, and he's stretched out wide. Like, to see that in a physical 3-dimensional model diorama would just be, and not just for half 6 months when they're advertising the new ride at Six Flags that eventually, okay, not Six Flags because they do Warner Brothers, and you know what I mean though, but like something that you would see maybe over in Universal or something, like maybe even an active sort of catching the train, or the train, reset the pose on a ride. I don't know. Not that we need to talk about animatronics, because, well, that's a whole thing right now with another company.
Yeah, I mean, it will wind up just being like freaking that Spider-Man musical where they wanted people getting injured left and right.
Yeah, I'm not for that, but I mean, I go back to the whole Gundam World Championships, and when they have all these awesome dioramas, right, where people take the time to tell a story with the model, with what they're building. I mean, it's kind of like when you guys play your D&D and or those sorts of tabletop games, and you create your characters, or some of you guys paint your minis and you create layers to the actual building and the story. Um, I think that's why people end up caring about a character. Or they don't, because you know you let if you let people's imagination run wild and let them have a foothold on it, then it can be theirs. Man, I'm getting inspired now.
Makes you want to do a little building.
Or something. Yeah.
Boy, I think I might have it here.
I may or may not have remembered that I pre-ordered the Stark Jig and Master Grade and never had it shipped.
Oh.
Yeah. Every now and then the P Bandai gets me.
No, that's not. That's the worst, especially with the price with some of those P Bandai figures.
Yeah.
Like I feel you. Like I've been looking at P Bandai for some of the Kamen Rider stuff, and it is just it's like $100 for like a 6-inch figure. I'm like, I cannot justify this.
No, but you want to.
Yeah, it's like it would have to be like right around a holiday or little special occasions where I might have a bonus. And then I'm like, yeah, I have a little bit of money I can spend on this.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, yeah, I could, but then I need a new fridge.
Yeah. Then there's some of us that were traveling and everything was in the storage unit and we didn't have really a lot of bills to pay. And we bought stuff and then realized we needed more storage unit and realized that maybe we should stop buying stuff because it's
So you say you like models. Well, what if I told you you could get a historical model?
Oh, I like history too.
All right. What if I were to tell you you could get a historical Gundam model? Would this have any interest to you?
Oh, like a reprint of an old version, like a classic re. Oh, okay, I'm listening.
No, Vince. I'm afraid you're a little off there.
RX-71.
Close. You are in the right ballpark though. But let's just go ahead and get the chase here because as part of the 40th anniversary stuff for Gundam,
yeah,
they are looking to re-release the original Gundam.
Oh dang.
Like the 1980 chunky looking model kit.
Like, do the elbows and knee joints even work?
I believe they will. Let's see. So this is a 1144th revival of plastic model kit from the original 1980 Gundam. Is available on display at the Shizuoka Hobby Show. The kit should be available for consumers to purchase and build sometime in the future. Okay. So this is going a step back and bringing us into the realm of those early kits.
Yeah, DJ Running-G, get to the right year.
Well, the kit itself will allow us to build a model very similar to the original 80 Gunpla. There are some improvements to the 2024 version. For starters, the parts are of a higher quality and have color to them, making them easier to recognize and removing the necessary painting. So you're getting a little bit of the you're getting a couple of concessions with it just due to the advancements we've had with all of the technology.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I know some people who have found some of the old stuff, like an old Zaku, is just that gray, brown, green all the way through. Yeah, it looks like it's snap pop.
Yep, and as it says here, the parts also click together, reducing the need for glue. This makes Gunpla a lot more approachable for even amateur hobbyists.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also a neat way to see. It's also a chance to sort of go back and see, for anyone who's an enthusiast for these things, to kind of go and see what was it like for some of these early kits. This isn't going to be like a complete 1-to-1, but it is a good kind of reminder of where things were and how far we've come along. Because I don't necessarily believe that the old ways are default good, but there are sometimes quality of life improvements that have come along in the time since.
I'm sure the original might had a little more flash than what we have now, and it'll probably correct that issue too.
Oh yeah, no, I have no doubt they probably just don't have enough. They needed a bit more. I'm sure they probably didn't have the same kind of quality control for dealing with flash and the extra sprue on the sprues. I'll buy one. They charge the same price as 1980. I mean, ooh, that's a good one. Like, we'll have to see.
Yeah,
I'd be curious to check that out, just because hey, there's a little history to it, and I feel like everyone at some point should build the RX-78 and a Zaku too. Like, you gotta go for one of each just to be able to check those off the bucket list.
And I would say the OG is a great way to go. Also, the Origin series is a really good way to go now too.
Okay, so DJ Ronnie, flash in terms of injection molding, it comes when the die is being filled up, when there's perhaps too much material being squirted in, so it has to go out the side somewhere. Basically, the flash is like when you're seeing like those seam lines where you have a bit of extra material you might want to go and trim off.
Yeah, or like when they didn't line up right or something, and they have that little extra edge.
Yeah, here we'll pull up some examples here just to show. This is I've gotten a little familiar with this. I've gotten a little familiar with this sort of in the IRL stuff. So
yeah,
I'm no stranger to flash and trimming it. Just a good example with these two here. You see, this is an example of a part that one that is very nicely trimmed, and one that has just that extra material on it. Yeah, it sticks out like a sore thumb. You don't necessarily want it. Plus, it's a waste of material. And sure, this much here is like nothing, but imagine that over 1,000 of these, 10,000 of these. Like, how much material is being wasted? Plus, if this has to go into something, that extra flash is gonna make it not fit as tight as it ought to.
Yep. On joints, you want to make sure it's smooth as can be. And I've even had the I'm blanking on them because I haven't built in a long time. The rubber parts, the joints.
Oh yeah.
Polycaps. I've had those with more flash on them, and having to kind of waller them out because they didn't set right on the pin, or they didn't sit right in the shoulder swivel. Yeah. Hey now.
You're a rock star.
Bottom like that. It's uncouth.
Yeah, and the best part is you get to eat all that extra flash like a little snack. It's a reward.
No. Yeah. Hobby knives, files, glass files. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to remove them, and sometimes it doesn't take that much effort when it's that just brittle, thin plastic, but it's enough. If you have, it's like what Bandai is now versus some of the third-party and up-and-coming stuff that have shown up over the last few years. That sometimes the model finished product is really awesome, but if it takes so much flash and extra work on every piece, it's just that much more grueling of a task to want to start, because you're not just popping it out, cleaning up the nub lines and the nub marks and just smoothing it out. No, you're having to spend that much more intentional time on every piece, which really can take a high grade from being 2 to 3 hours of work to like 6+ hours of work.
And then it just goes up and up and up. And
Mm.
hey there, LDG, welcome.
ALDG.
I did get one other kit in the mail this past week. So I guess I got a little bit of show and tell here. I could,
Awesome.
swap over my other camera here. Let me just do that as I steal the screen here, and let me
It's your show. You're allowed.
show off my desk.
Oh, voila.
And that's one of the things. Like I was able to kind of clean the desk up a little bit, change this out, and voila.
It was about entertaining last week watching you and Snacks build. One of you was right side up and one of you was upside down, or just the camera angle was slightly different, so it was really funny.
So a couple of things I just got recently, especially in the realm of Kamen Rider, like a couple of like the figure art series, which I've become a big fan of these.
Okay.
They're like, so I just got 2 of these, and hey,
Nice.
this is Spider-Man but cooler.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
also
speaking of-
we got the trench coat mafia over here.
I mean, that is pretty cool. And he's the Spider-Man we deserve, right?
Oh yeah, check him out.
Okay.
Like just like you like the eyes kind of go around. Like it just
Mhm.
it just screams Edge. It's like what if we decided to make the cool Japanese Spider-Man. As great as
Mhm.
Spider-Man, the original like tokusatsu hero was.
Yeah.
He looks so good. Also, look at the way the light shines off that.
That's nice though. It really is.
It-
I mean,
there's
how
little
much
details
effort?
like there's little details like his little stamp pops off, which is part of like the
Mhm.
gimmick of the show where I have to kind of even like insert it. He's got multiple hands.
How much work did it take to put them all together? Like, how much time did that take you?
Oh, this was like nothing at all. These.
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right.
These
He's
are just
a figure.
action figures.
All right. My bad. But yeah.
And I am a fan of. I'm not as big a fan of the series that he came from, but he just looks
Yeah.
so cool that I didn't care.
Is that like Gundam Seed, where everybody likes the half the models and then don't want to talk about the characters?
Basically. And then just because I have them right here as well, here's that count. Here's the other one. Which, by the way, check this out. Like the trench coat even like has little wires in it,
Nice.
so you can do the cool action pose. You could take this off his those bandana you can pose too.
Mhm.
So you have like the dynamic kick. I don't know,
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of nerd now, but he has a motorcycle I need to buy.
Mm. I mean, dynamic kick or shooter chop action is one or the other. Like, I remember having the some of the G.I. Joes and X-Men that had like the chopping motion or the kick or it was entertaining. Oh, show me this. Show me more.
Okay, so this was a bit of a special kit.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
So this was like I guess is like a sort of cross brand. Let's see, they're both Bandai, but it's like different departments, different lines.
Mm-hmm.
Is like these two things go together. So what this is this cool little kind of kind of samurai looking like half bike,
Right.
and this is your more traditional kit that has to be put together.
Mm-hmm.
But this also is half of a combo. And the reason I got it is because as I stand up for this, I have the other half.
Nice. Okay. Oh
And
yeah, okay.
yes, so like she can basically fold down and basically turns into the front half or the back half. So it's whatever your preference is for posing them.
Gotcha.
And yeah, that was just kind of my big like exciting purchase. Like those finally came in, and yeah, just a couple little dust collectors for the desk.
Oh yeah, dust collectors are the best.
Oh, and like my little sticker for my phone case.
Nice. I remember one of the first things I did when I was at one of my first anime conventions or what Comic-Con things is I went around looking stickers and I found for like $4 or $5 just this random pack of Gundam themed stickers, all between inch to 2 inch size. Like they're not big, but there's a bunch of them. It's like these are awesome.
Wait, do I have a hat for him? I'm assuming you're meaning for the Kamen Rider. No, unfortunately, I don't have a poly hat for him. So I guess to sort of bring that up one more time, because I don't think you were quite here yet, Punk Waddle.
Yeah.
There's an anime movie coming for one of the Kamen Rider series,
Mm-hmm.
and I have, out of affection, pointed out that this is effectively poly of Latino slant as a Sentai hero.
Okay.
If my thing will load.
Yeah.
Now, this is Kamen Rider Skull.
So I see it. Affectionately known as common Latino Rider or Common Slant. I don't know.
Oh, and it gets better when you realize like he even has the mustache.
Yep. I mean, that's on point. Yep. That's Polly's hat. Mm-hmm. Polly and his hats. And there's a scarf there, which I mean is not the first Kamen Rider to have a scarf, but
I mean, it's a penchant of like them as a whole.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
I mean, heck, my
Have you asked him if he's been working on some stuff lately? Because he was talking about he was going to be filming.
Lately.
What?
I haven't really interacted much with Polly lately. He just kind of weird schedules have kind of gotten in the way. I haven't really reached out to him too much. I really should.
I mean, you really need to ask him if he's moonlighting.
We'll throw a super chat at him sometime and ask him if he's ask him if he if for some fashion tips to pull that look off.
Yeah, if he's aware of his alter ego, or if he, yeah.
But yeah, it's been pretty good. Otherwise, at the end of the day, it's been a pretty good little week. I guess one last thing that I can kind of talk about here, something that I have to kind of own up to having not seen and have decided to correct.
Oh yeah.
I've not seen Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Okay, and you're not the first person to say that either. I feel like there's a lot more people that know it's integral and know of it than have watched it these days. I still don't think I've finished it. I think I have 1 or 2 episodes left.
Like, I should say, I think I've maybe seen the odd episode here or there. Like, maybe I started a while back. I got through about 4 episodes and I just got distracted because I don't want to say, ADD brain or anything, but you know how it goes. You start something and you're like, I really want to watch this instead.
Right. Oh yeah. Trust me, I've got some ideas for Punk about the the snack food versus the substantial meal of social media and entertainment.
So part of my decision to finally start Evangelion was because in doing Talk Hard, we decided to go and watch through uh, a few of the other movies that Hideaki Anno, who's best known for being like the director creator of Evangelion. He got to do Shin Godzilla, Shin Ultraman, Shin Kamen Rider because he's a big tokusatsu fan. He's a big nerd.
Yeah.
And so I've decided, why don't I go back to probably the core of those and I'll watch that. And I believe I think I'm on episode 3 or 4, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like I watched through like 2-3 episodes last night.
Okay.
I'm kind of on the dad's side here. Am I supposed to be on the dad's side?
So it's been a while since I watched it, but I would say that Shinji is at this point, he is the whiny protagonist that he's just like, I don't want to be here. I kind of want to connect with my dad, but like he likes all these other kids better than me, and blah 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 blah, and they know him better, and wah 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 wah. Yeah, he is the epitome of a like annoying whiny protagonist, especially at the beginning. Like it's funny because you talk about the hero's journey, and he's the stubborn, unwilling, and I think at some point he chooses he makes a decision, but he does waffle pretty well. Yeah, I think pop culture.
Right.
Yeah.
Depends which stage of your life you're in when you're watching Eva. Yeah, I'm like there, and also the
Mhm.
oh god, what's her name? The woman who takes him in, who has all the beer in her fridge. Did
Yeah,
I
she's
just find my
hilarious.
ideal woman?
Kind of. I mean, you'll see why she's has her own issues, right? You'll see why. But obviously, if the and this is the one thing I'm a little sad that you didn't focus on from the very beginning, because Pen
Okay,
Pen
the
is
penguin. Yeah.
obviously the star of the show, the comic relief. The drunken, he just walks out, grabs a beer, just like looks like, what the crap? These kids are dumb, and walks away. You see him like getting out of the shower, toweling off, like meh.
Now, I suppose I should ask you, is this an extended family member?
I think it is one of Drunk Waddle's, role models, drinking buddies.
That makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. He runs the place.
I
It's
believe
just
it.
he's the mascot. Nobody really bothers with him. He just pops in. Yeah, yeah. He's a little bit
I-
more adult, serious theme than the I think it's called pronounced the Monwaru penguins from the Penguinarium. That are the little blue penguins that are the comic relief that are just like meandering about in just absurd ways. But that's a thing for a different time. But and Pen Pen came first. I know that much.
Okay. Let me see. We're just gonna go down here and
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Messiah.
wait, what am I sharing this for? Go away.
Your ideal woman.
Maybe. Oh, so I've got the original. I know there was a little bit of contention with the
Mm.
Netflix adaptation, and so I figured I'm just gonna call that out. I'm gonna go. I tracked down the original. I am watching through the original, the 96.
Yeah.
1996 original. We're not going through. We're not getting the George Lucas treatment here. We're not prequeling this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of interesting. I was looking over some of the social rankings on this, and you're able to kind of see what like your friends rank it on here. Where was that? And maybe it was under reviews. Maybe no. I'll have to find this because it was kind of interesting seeing how some of the people out here ranked it. Like Lofty gave it like a perfect 10.
Oh, yeah.
And
The thing
some
is,
people
I might disagree with that, but I wouldn't actually ask him to explain or back it up because it would just
right
cause
here.
about an hour of confusion.
So, which by the way, I'm looking forward to seeing Lofty return because the man sure makes things all kinds of entertaining whenever he's around.
Yeah, I there was at one point I think Wilton was interested in trying to have a conversation with him. I just don't think that Wilton understands that he won't be in control of the conversation.
No, no, Lofty's going to show up and he's gonna completely throw the monkey wrench into whatever Wilton's trying to troll with.
Yep.
So that I'm going to be curious to check this out because I know that part of it is also Hideaki Anno is also a big fan of Ultraman, and in particular, like I think Ultraman Leo or Ultraman Ace was one of those series that left a big impression on him, and he put a lot of that into Evangelion.
There's a lot of, because there's some people early on they're like, well, it's Gundam versus Evangelion, which is a terrible, terrible, terrible idea because they're like maybe not versus, but one is better than the other because it's like when they had two Penguin movies that came out, like Surf's Up and Happy Feet. They're just two Penguin movies. They're completely different tones, purposes, functions. Like these two shows have mecha, and they're based off mecha in like kind of a futuristic war. But the purpose, the function, what they're fighting, and how they're fighting, like Evangelion, they're fighting these angels, not humanity itself. You're looking, yeah.
You're better. What is it? The cat, my cat, Kitty has shown up with her toy, expecting attention.
Mm.
So you might hear her crying.
I think I wonder if Shinji was dealing with Bright Noah instead of his father and his family issues. Because if Shinji got a Bright Noah slap, like the whole show could have been different.
Not even my father hit me.
Yeah. Yeah, parent drama. Okay, you make it.
I never compared Eva to Gundam. It has always been Gundam versus Macross. Okay. I'll be curious to see how that plays out. I've got both here, so maybe I'll just go do the. Let's see. I guess I should ask: Macross or Robotech, Bob?
Those are fighting words, I think.
Well, as far as I know, and I could be wrong, so please correct me. They're different stories.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like I believe it's like Super Sentai. Macross was the original, and then they decided to take the film. They decided to take the cuts and re-edit it and splice to an American story, which is silly because it's what it was. Yeah.
So then I'm asking: I guess I should ask for clarity there. Are you specifically saying that you're saying Macross and not Robotech? You're not using them interchangeably?
No.
Just want the clarity.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, no, those are some other great comparisons. Abyss, the Deep, Deep Impact, Armageddon. What was it? Ants at A Bug's Life.
Yeah.
Babylon 5 and DS9.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. Thank you. That was what I was hoping for. Macross, not Robotech. Because all I'm thinking about so far is kid, like there's giant monsters attacking. These things were basically started. These things showed up when you were like a fucking baby.
Yeah.
But 15 years ago, you're not. They're not coming back now. Like, get over your child, your daddy issues. If you don't fight, everyone's going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Life's tough. Sorry, that's what you got to deal with here. But
wait, hold on. I'm reading awesome one. Punk is a combination of punk versus waddle. Which came first? No, punk. Punk waddle is what I am. I'm a punk and I waddle. Like, there's no chicken or egg. It is the punk waddle. You know. Obviously, the penguin came first, and then there was penguin egg. It had to be incubated by the males as the women went off to fish.
so you're kind of like you're kind of like seahorses.
No, there's a male penguin and a female penguin. We give each other rocks and we keep them forever.
Yeah, and then the daddy has to hatch the egg.
Yeah, but seahorses are kind of like interchangeable.
Yeah, well, hang on. It's the male seahorse pops the baby out, hatches the baby.
I mean, I don't think the male penguin hatches the baby. It just incubates the baby until it hatches.
Therefore, Punkwaddle's the seahorse.
Something's getting ejected and is not an egg.
Okay, I think I've tortured you with that enough. So here, before we end, let me make things better. Here, we'll end with we'll give you a little common America. Does that make things make things better?
It is very patriotic considering this time of year. I think that's very acceptable.
I agree. I'm very happy with it. God bless America.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. I just think she's getting your rocks off.
The timing of that was before you showed the picture, just for reference sake.
Well, look, these things happen. These things just kind of happen their own way of happening.
Yeah, it's a happy accident, guys.
Yeah. If all women were waifus.
Mm-hmm. Gator would have a lot of pillows.
Oh yeah, there wouldn't be a soft pillow around.
Just hard ones.
Like the crunchy side of the pillow.
think I'm gonna sleep standing up.
Well, speaking of, apparently, of all the times you decide to pop in, it's right as we're talking about crunchy pillows because we have an anime guy.
Crunchy pillows. Wait a
Yeah.
minute. When did Crunchyroll turn into the place where it collects the stuff that comes out of your loins? When did that happen?
Shortly after we had a brief appearance of Common America.
Mm. Yeah, it's not like this is a high dive that gives all you the.
You get all the lovely the lovely jumblies on display.
Ooh, the lovely jubblies. Oh, so much fun. You know, I hate Crunchyroll. We know that Sony's trash. We know that. They've got a bad track record going. Disabling their comments section when they were so grand, vast, and glorious like they did.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah, that was something that just happened.
Yep.
And that's sort of, I'm surprised it had, to be honest, I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner, because inevitably all these places wind up shutting down their comment sections because they don't want to, frankly, they don't want to deal with having to moderate it.
Pussies. That's all I'm going to say to them about that. They suck. I hate to say, no, I don't mind saying it. They suck. Punkwaddle, how the hell are you tonight?
I am doing good.
Surviving all the rain that has been creeping on in and up on from the Gulf Coast there?
Yeah.
No, that's good. I guess it turned out to not be as bad as they were thinking it could have been, but I must say this, though. I am very impressed, massively impressed with Grendizer U. That was good.
And the thing is, I think it works good enough for an introduction into not only Grendizer, but even for a little bit of Mazinger. You get to see how great he is as a hero too.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the thing is, this is one of those legacy series, because before Gundam there was Mazinger. This is like one of the granddaddies of all mecha.
Yep, the Grand Poobah. And I must also admit that Ultraman Arc was very fun. I enjoyed that.
That was fun.
Did you get a chance to watch the whole episode, or just
Yes.
the? Oh, okay. That's right, because now come to think of it, you've been starting to delve into a bit of Ultraman.
Yeah, I've been trying to, and I said, if I understood correctly, this is a whole new series that's starting this year, right?
Yes. This will probably run for, let's see, if memory serves, I think most of them tend to be about 20, 24 episodes.
Very nice. Are they going to keep putting them up on YouTube?
Oh yeah. In fact, I believe if you go to the YouTube channel, you'll find that basically all these other series are up there as well. In fact, I'm pulling up the channel now to double check for myself.
Yeah, I subscribe to both the Japanese and the English one. The English dub wasn't as horrendous as I was thinking it could have been, but nah, I gotta watch it in the original. But I do like it. Will you lend me your strength? Hi! 3-minute countdown timer, and he went overtime.
Yeah, it just kind of goes in track, because it always tends to be about like a 3-minute fight as sort of your big thing to kind of build off the episode. And like I was telling Punkwaddle, that was all like one continuous shot.
Yeah, it was. It was awesome.
So I like the implication with it that that agent is recording this entire thing. He's just like running around like with super speed, catching it all. Because the timer on it is from a phone recording.
Yeah, being watched through the phone recorder.
Yeah, that was a fun touch.
So it's got the implication that he's just like really good at his job. And
I mean,
as watching it, I was also thinking how the agent who came into the show, his shtick is he likes coffee.
He really likes coffee.
I watched it like I know this guy. This is the guy who, when we played D&D, he's made coffee part of like his character shtick. So one of the players went and actually just yesterday gave him a set of coffee dice.
That's funny.
Very nice.
With like even like a little creamer, and like they come in like the little dice cup is a like coffee mug. I'm like, and of course this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, speaking of the Japanese doing things better than the Americans, have you seen the Japanese D&D commercial?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Now you see, if they at this point, I am thoroughly convinced that they need, if they want to have something be successful, even with all the stupid shit they're trying to do, they need to have the Japanese market it, because they know how to market it way the hell better than any of these losers here in this country do. And it was funny. I thought it was hilarious.
Well, the thing is like they completely market it. They market the stuff totally different than they do over here.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, let me see. Is this the ad I'm thinking of? Because this is an ad from like a year ago. And I mean, you've seen all. Just to touch onto the D&D briefly, you've seen a lot of like the art we're looking at with the new edition, with like the gay dwarves and all the other stuff. Some of the baffling cover art.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look in here. I will pull this up just to show. Really, I just want to show just like the art that's coming into like the Japanese edition.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe we'll just go ahead and. Like, wait.
Mm-hmm.
This looks nothing like what we're getting for art.
Nope.
Like, I would play this.
Yep.
I remember when the D&D had their like starter sets where they weren't painted, but they had the little map layout, and you had 4 or 5 little minifigures that they kind of had this kind of vibe, but this is like 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
Well, the thing is, like, the big anime push and trend has been building for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to, pop up eventually. And I'll take a Larry Elmore painting. Thank you. Also acceptable. I would accept that. And, the thing is, like, and I would also accept anime, because half my inspiration these days is coming from anime. Like, I'm watching through Overlord, and I'm taking notes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I need to keep watching Overlord. I need to keep watching Overlord.
Like, this is the wizard. Like, come on. Whoa. What is this? What is this anime waifu nonsense? Come on. Where's the side shave and the 300 pounds? Where's the combat wheelchair?
Either that or missing the limb.
Mm-hmm.
Or being the bestest ever and not needing a book.
True.
Yeah, if only our D&D looked like this.
If only.
I mean, yeah.
Possible
a paladin.
I mean, then you look at the characters in Solo Leveling, or some of them, or some of the other stuff where they are doing the RPG sort of style, and dang.
Mm-hmm.
But
we used to be a country of culture. We used to have nice things.
We used to. And unfortunately, that's not what we get anymore. No, we have to get...
Hey, look.
We have to get things made for modern audiences.
I think what it was is when body positivity wasn't just for cops eating donuts on the sidewalk.
So very true. All right, gentlemen, I got a question to ask you.
Yes, sir.
Since it's National Video Game Day,
Mm-hmm.
I see you got your Super Metroid on. Let me ask you both the question then.
Okay.
Favorite system all time? I know it's a tough one because there's some good ones. But if you could only have just the one, what would it be?
I might have to say PlayStation 2.
A good pick. Very good pick.
Well, the thing is,
See-
the PS2. The thing was PS2 was like my high school years, and that was when I was getting really into the JRPGs. So those are just what I kind of gravitate towards. And
Oh,
there,
Good
there
Lord,
was
am I dating myself again? I'm dating myself again here. Okay.
like some of my favorite JRPGs have fantastic music. Games like La Pucelle Tactics, of course the original Disgaea, but that's all the Nice America, and I'd say even Steambot Chronicles, because we gotta have something mecha.
Yes, we do. And going into the chat here, let's see. Bad Gamergate says PS3. Yeah, PS3. It got there. Atari 2600. I know that's dating me just a bit, but I had one, and no. DJ Ronnie G, Xbox. Yeah, a modded original Xbox is tight. PC. Yes and no, because PC is eternal, but then again, not all computers continued. You know, you got your Amigas, and you have the older styled Mac OSs. Or the Commodore or the Atari computers. As far as PC in its current iteration, rolling forth with the original either MS-DOS or IBM PC-DOS, sure, I think we could count that. I think that would be worthy of counting. And of course, Pop Culture Mechanic comes in with the SNES, because of course he would. Only Atari had the courage to make the ET game. Well,
Not true, actually. There
was
were other ET games.
ooh, but not as bad as that one.
No, nothing will ever be as so infamous that they had to
Burn it
have a
and bury it.
landfill.
Yeah. All right, Punk Waddle. What say you? What say you?
I would have to say the N64.
N64? An interesting take. Not too many people that I've talked to would go with that one. What is it about the 64 that has you gravitating towards it?
It's probably the one that I played the most. Like I kind of got out of it for a while. I never had a GameCube. I went back to the Xbox, and for current gen, I really do like the Switch. But for some of the games that I loved between, like I said, the N64 and I saw Pops put up the Super Nintendo, were probably the prime of my video game playing games as a kid.
Star Fox 64, baby.
Yeah, Star Fox 64 was good. All right. Well, let's see. Punky, you're closer to my age. Ironcaster, you're not. Well, you're close, but not that close. I was wanting to start a new series of shows. Maybe do them twice a month. Going through each of the systems and ranking the best soundtrack from the games. Having let's say 4 or 5 panelists. Everybody recommends 2 games, and then no more than 20 in an episode, and then maybe getting some recommendations from the crowd and taking a listen to it. And I was thinking, okay, how far back in the back machine do I want to go? And I'm thinking, at least for all of us here in the States, the NES is probably the first system to really truly pull that off properly. And I remember having my Atari 2600, but I don't remember them really having. I remember them having sound effects, but no game music per se. And Sega Master System, it was more popular in South America and in Europe and in Japan than it was here. So I know that there's a ton of good stuff on it. I know it's capable, but I've never had any experience with it, so I'm very hesitant to try and judge it. Whereas I think people
Genesis.
in my age bracket we have that ability to pass the judgment on the NES and then forth.
And growing up those early years, like 3-4 years old, I did have an NES in the house. Like, my earliest memories are even like playing that, playing Super Nintendo. So I am right there, right within that age range, to an extent. I was born '89, so right at basically the start of the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, you're my brother. You're my youngest brother's age. Yeah.
And so, just I want to put one thought to put out for this. Maybe tell people, you could pick one popular game, and then pick one off the beaten path.
Oh yeah, no Super Mario Brothers. That's a given.
Yeah.
Punch Out. There's only one. There's only two songs in it, and they're iconic. So I would include it, but it's also out.
We're gonna do what? We're gonna do Tetris and Dr. Mario. All right, cool. So you have like 2 tracks.
No, yeah, no. They're classics, but I would say no. I'm going to pull one up right now, and this is one that I would choose because I remember when this came out. I remember the media blitz, all the things that was done for this franchise in the year 1989. And all I'm going to say is, if you weren't there, I feel sorry for you because it was as big as the MCU is now. It was massive because it had been forever since we'd had anything like this. So if you'll share it, sure. It was Batman.
Oh yeah.
And this soundtrack, this exemplified what the NES was capable of. And I'm going to go ahead and we can play this. We can get away with this because it's a game and it's old. But the opener for it and then the first stage song is fantastic. So here we go. It sets the stage. And of course the game was bloody brilliant too. Oh yes. And then the prologue with him busting into Axis chemicals. Yeah, it's also great. Handheld Atari Lynx. You're going into the Wayback Machine with that one. The Lynx was fun. Sunsoft used to do some good stuff. Good stuff. Spy Hunter's a classic. And when we start talking about like gaming computers or that, there's a ton of stuff there too. And there's also a ton of stuff from the arcade. But I was thinking of maybe doing decades, but if we do that, that would take forever, and there's just too much to cover. So I'm wanting to limit it to, as I said, to a system, first half of its life, second half of its life, do one of these each and every month. But this one is definitely my NES goat, and the reason becomes clear once the first stage starts playing. So iconic. And it really makes the game. Amazing what they could do with only 4 channels.
It's a banger.
This is an underrated one. Sure.
Punk.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh yeah, it's definitely punk, and I said this is for me outside of the usuals. Everybody's going to toss in Zelda, everybody's going to toss in Metroid, everybody's going to toss in, the Mario Brothers. I want to deep dive this a little bit because there's even some game soundtracks out there that I've never played the game for, but I absolutely love. And one that I did play a lot was Skate or Die. And I absolutely love Skate or Die. It's not very good, but I love it. Plus, you just can't go wrong with this opener. And of course, Ultra Games is Konami. It's how they got around Nintendo's limits. Oh yeah.
I mean, the MIDI files and then Mega Man just knocks it out of the park.
Yep. Mega Man's another good one. Any of the Mega
2,
Mans.
I think, was a big soundtrack one. The first one was good, but I think the second one they really took it to another level.
Yeah. The second one is where it really took off. Me personally, I prefer the third game, but I'm weird that way. The second one seems to get everybody's love. Either that or the fourth one.
You know, I'm kind of thinking over some of the various game soundtracks and how for a couple of them it's just so cheating. Like you look at a game series like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and it is just all that like it's that 90s grunge kind of butt rock sort of thing.
Yeah,
thing where these are completely licensed bands, so it's sort of a matter where as time goes on, you wind up with like actual licensed bands getting brought into the mix. That makes it a little issue.
Well, it's like the same thing with a movie that has a score, right, and has this real well-intentioned made soundtrack, or they do the, like you said, the pop song where it's a time capsule where like these are all the pop songs of the day and they have no semblance of a continuity of an actual album or even really match the movie. And like I said, it's not going to sell because nobody cares, because you could make a mixtape of all your favorite pop songs.
Or heck, you could look at like, and it's cheating, but you look at something like Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Where literally like you just say Dragon Force and
So here's a funny story about Guitar Hero. This is about, I want to say 21 years ago. I was in a smaller town, but they had I think it was the old 97s coming through, and they were playing in the park, but they had some local bands open for them. Well, one of the opening bands is they played some just pop rock, stuff, and then it was about halfway through the set, or towards maybe 3/4 through the set. We're like, we all know these songs, but these don't set together. What? Oh crap. They're playing all the popular rock band songs live. And so it's like they know everybody is going to know the song and sing along because they've all been spending the last year and a half playing Rock Band because it was the biggest thing at the time. I was like, that's terrible if you want to go somewhere, but also hilarious if you just kind of want to get noticed.
All right. This one is probably the absolute peak of the series, at least in the 8-bit realm. And of course, the Famicom version had a little different arrangement. Plus, if you had the disc version of the game, it had more room, more space.
I feel like I'm going on a journey.
Exactly. It's so good. So good. Let me see if I can find... Oh, let's see. There's the Mad Forest, Deadbeat, Nightmare, Aquarius, Demon Seed, Deja Vu. The Prayer. That's when you know shit's about to get real. And you're right, it is Castlevania 3. Of course, this is the Famicom version of it. But the NES version was also pretty good. So they did a few things a little differently. That's because our hardware was a little less capable.
It's like you had limitations. So it becomes a question of which do you lean into? Do you lean into into just the way most people remember it, or the which version would you opt for then if you could only pick one?
If I could, I'd get the Famicom version because that's how the Japanese had it. You know, you got to remember with the Famicom, when it was released in Japan, it looked vastly different. Because of our crash, Nintendo didn't want to release something that looked like an Atari or had the feel of an Atari. They wanted it to feel like an appliance. That's how come the Nintendo looks like a toaster or a VCR. But they had add-on modules for the Famicom, like a disc. Right. They had the Famicom disk system, and it vastly expanded not only the hardware capabilities, but the storage capabilities. So if you ever get a chance to... Go ahead.
I was going to say that, and the Super version had internet capabilities. You could actually check stock market and trade stuff. There was they made it to be functional as a more than just a video game. But I mean, there's definitely documentaries and things, and of course, I'm sure the Nerdport Lifeform has done a deep dive and explained some stuff out in a way. If he hasn't, I'm sure he might do that sometime. But yeah.
Yeah, and as far as out of all the Castlevania games that came out in the 8-bit and the 16-bit era, this one gets no love here in the States because it never was originally released here in the States. But if you want to talk about taking advantage of the CD hardware and taking advantage of a very robust Yamaha MIDI sound chip, this is it. This is most definitely it. The Rondo of Blood. So good. So good.
I gotta do a playthrough of this.
And you can see where they picked up for Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
And with the interwebs and ROM hacks, we can play this in English with English subtitling. Speaking of, the prayer, the Requiem prayer is killer.
Oh, that triggered a memory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go.
No, for me, I remember it best from Castlevania Circle of the Moon, where you pop that cartridge in. That is the first thing you're hearing at that start screen.
Yep, they used it for the GBA versions of the games. Speaking of which, those ones, they're very underrated, but they're damn good. Oh, they're so good. But you know what? I think it's time for the Bloodlines.
Oh, yeah.
More like a 12-channel MIDI on this one.
I mean, that just feels like a real bass. It doesn't feel like a fake bass.
Yeah, the PC Engine was a master class of a... Technically, it was an 8-bit CPU, but it had a 16-bit graphics processing system in it. Hence why it gets tossed in with the 16-bit. Had we received the same level of support for the TG16 as what they did for the Japanese market, it really would have given all of them a run for the money, because the Japanese releases are fantastic. They've got they've got updated Super HU card PC engine that actually has an arcade perfect version of Ghosts and Goblins and Ghouls and Ghosts. Yeah. But yeah, this system, this audio system, it put the SNES version of this game to shame. And it was a stripped down version to begin with, but this really shames them. But, you know, not very many people are versed on the PC engine or the TurboGrafx 16 in general. So trying to rank it would be a little more difficult. But I think out of all the systems from that early time frame, if you had a composer that knew what they were doing, knew the hardware, they could do things with it that would put the Super Nintendo to shame. The Super Nintendo was no slouch.
So, the funny thing with the Castlevania, you know, one of my other great loves is tabletop role-playing games. And I was looking at a reprint of a game called a reprint of an old adventure from Judge's Guild called Teagle Manor, which came out in, I believe, the year 1977. And the relevance for this is apparently around the early 80s. And the thing is, it is one of the first haunted house adventures for like D&D. Apparently, Konami reached out to them wanting to license a game based on that adventure.
Oh.
Well, that kind of fell through, and then what you know, we wound up with a really well-known haunted house video game series that's all legally distinct. Castlevania.
Oh, Konami, how I loathe thee. You bastards haven't done shit with any of your IPs for years, and the only things you do are the stupid gotcha games or claw machine games. These bastards. But anyways, Castlevania is good. And Castlevania on the Genesis is also good.
Matt, I believe you're over with you're familiar with my buddy Tabletop Junkie. He's looking to run some Mechton Zeta, so keep in touch with him.
There you go. But yeah, the Genesis, the Yamaha sound chip in this, the Yamaha MIDI system in this is very good, but you got to know what you're doing with it. And if you don't, you're going to blow it. But for those who knew how to do it, like our friend here that created the Streets of Rage soundtrack, which was Yuzo Koshiro, he could make it sing and make it do things that the SNES, even though it had a more capable sound chip and a digital sound chip from Sony, it couldn't do this. It could not. And this is a badass game. And this was an early release. I think this was 91.
Yep, it really does.
I heard we should be playing basketball like late at night.
Also, this drum beat I feel like was used in a lot of 80s and 90s tracks.
It very well probably was. But, you know, you got the original Streets of Rage. That was just a year and a half earlier. And it's amazing. It's amazing when you can quadruple the amount of ROM space, what you can do. Because the original game was only a 4 mega cartridge, so half a megabyte. Whereas Streets of Rage 2 was a 16 meg cartridge, so 2 megabytes worth of data. But even with that, even with the limitations of the original was still bloody fantastic. So that's what they were doing in the second game. This is what they were doing in the first game. Fairly close. And of course, if you've never played through this, where the hell have you been? You need to play through it.
Oh yeah.
The year is 1998. Your mom just picked up a pizza. You've got a 2-liter of your favorite soda. And you've got all night.
Boom.
And a family-sized bag of nacho-flavored Doritos.
Oh yeah. She even let you rent out a tape, and Dad let you pick out an R-rated film.
That's a good question. If you could go back and rent a movie to have for the weekend, a game for the weekend, what would those be? Here we go. So good.
It's either gonna be Mortal Kombat or Donkey Kong Country.
Mortal Kombat, the movie, and DK?
Oh, if we're talking like the combination of like you can get a movie and a game.
Yeah.
Oh, that might be it.
Oh.
Yeah, OG Mortal Kombat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a fun movie. Donkey Kong Country. That's a game that had a killer soundtrack.
Yeah, it really
And
did.
Rare knew how to get the most out of that SNES. They really did.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is probably, out of all the tracks on the original, this one's probably my favorite. Because you're on a ship that's floating, and the ship floats to the sound.
Hey, Macarena.
Yep, they knew what they were doing.
I mean, these tracks go hard, but like you said, it's not too complicated and it's not too much because it's just that intensity and it just. You're right. You're right. Now I want to pull out some of those old games because even by, I would say, by the N64 days, you started having a little more music and a little bit more
Higher end MIDI. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Much better instrumentations in the MIDI and more channel availability. But yeah, a lot of the early PlayStation games were still using MIDI synthesized type stuff, like Final Fantasy VII. It's, you don't get full orchestration or something similar to that till closer to the end of the PS1 and into the PS2 era, when they're just using audio files. But for an early Super Nintendo game, I don't think there's anything that can beat Castlevania for its sound.
Oh man, that oozes atmosphere.
Yep. Doom is at hand for the Belmont Legacy as you enter the most chilling chapter of the most fiendish horror story ever told. Just be sure to tell your next of kin before you begin. And actually, this doesn't sound like the standard. This almost sounds like it's using the when they had the PlayStation or the CD add-on prototype, they were going to up the audio capabilities. Well, for there's a lot of modders and ROM hackers out there. One specifically that I follow, who will get this in the MSU4 sound chip And the soundtracks that are done that way, they're bloody fantastic. So good. That's what this sounds like. But I can live with that. No, that's the original. You know it's about to go down and get real. This was a fun game. For me, it was never easy, even though I guess it is.
There we go. I gotta get the proper background for it.
Oh yeah. Now, out of all the levels that I've actually been through, I think 3-1 is still my favorite. Very atmospheric. Definitely different.
Ooh, that's got a good little atmosphere to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is like you show something that's a little bit not as
Is it?
in your face creepy, but it's like you're outside. There's plant life. It's a reprise, but there's also something dangerous. But yeah,
Yeah, it's loaded. It is loaded.
Matt wanted to point out how Castlevania is literally Gothic D&D in a way. You don't know how true that is because I'm gonna steal the screen for a moment here just to make a point. So for anyone who's somehow doesn't know about this, so here's of course the cover art from Castlevania 2: Simon's Quest. Super iconic, very memorable. However, if you then go back over to Dungeons and Dragons and particularly Ravenloft, which is like the OG most iconic
Yes.
Gothic horror.
There he is.
Strad van Zarevich.
If I remember correctly, there's a book called Eisterod.
Yes. Excellent book, by the way. But you could see there's quite literally the same like gargoyle, the way the cape flows. The only real difference is his head is turned. I mean, heck,
yeah.
even like that, the posing of the hand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now I'm looking at even like
The gargoyles next to him.
the gargoyles and the gate behind him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's definitely an homage.
Oh yeah. Well, that second game, very unforgiving, and unless you know where you're going, what you're doing, I would skip it. The third game, it's an absolute can't miss. But this is another game back in the early days that they didn't quite know how to run with the slower processor, but it came to your advantage. But the sound in it, or the musical score, yeah, you know it's going down with Gradius if you're playing this. Yeah, it's good. Those early Super Nintendo games, they had to ooze a lot of charisma in a lot of ways. And now that I think about it, this technically the second Gradius game, which is called Life Force on the NES, or Salamander in the Japanese, yeah, it had a really kicking soundtrack too. For the NES, it was quite astounding. And then, let's see here.
Brandon, I'm starting to think that if you have 4 or 5 people and they have 2 per person, your stream will probably go at least 4 hours.
Well, I want to avoid the 4 hour because I did that with Leon on his first anime opener show. That was a lot of fun. And if I keep it to just 2 and then play just one song from that set, I think we could get through it in 2.5 hours. I think we could.
I regret not having made a couple suggestions to him because a couple of the ones I would have picked were sadly not on there.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Simon's Quest Redacted. This is what Pops is saying that Pop Culture Mechanic says we'd have to play if you actually want to play the game and be able to actually beat it. Or just watch somebody play it. Oh, let's see.
of course, if we're in the realm of Super Nintendo games, let's talk Turtles in Time.
Yes. That probably is the single best example of the home version being better than the arcade. Not necessarily technically, because the arcade hardware at that time was still, it could do all sorts of things that the SNES couldn't. But the soundtrack did come through properly. Yes.
And if there's any one track you could play from that particular game, it's Sewer Surfing.
Sewer Surfing?
Yes.
Sewer Surfing Turtles in Time. Well, you got your SNES version. It looks like you have the arcade version. That's also early SNES. Back when Konami knew what the hell they were doing.
Wow.
Yeah. It's fast.
This is a button mashing good time.
It is a banger of a track.
That it is. Although, if I had to... The one that I would pick from that, so TMNT 4 Turtles in Time OST. If I had to pick one... Besides that, that's a good one. I do like them all, but I think my favorite...
Oh, Alley Cat Blues.
Alley Cat Blues is good.
Oh, now I'm looking at that list, and like there are some great songs on there.
Where is it? No. Skull and Crossbones. Pirate Ship level.
Oh yeah.
The arcade version is fantastic for that level.
I gotta get some background for this game for my green screen.
Yes. Well, let me see this. OST arcade. Here we go. And of course the song. Pizza Power! If you ever get a chance, you should listen to the whole song. And of course they released it on the one and only Turtles live thing, but there's actually 2 versions of this song. One's the one that they played it live, and then there's the one that matches the pace of this, and the one that matches the pace of this is way better. Let's see. Alley Cat Blues, Sewer Surfing, Prehistoric. Here's the arcade Skull and Crossbones.
Ooh, that is better.
Well, yeah, the arcade hardware was, about 10 times more powerful than the SNES.
Oh yeah.
good night.
Drop roll link, by the way.
Yeah. The arcade hardware, I did a count. I double checked. The original Super Nintendo version could only have 4 foot soldiers on screen at one time with the 2 turtles. The arcade could have the 4 turtles and over 20 foot soldiers or bad guys on the screen at one time. So if you've got if you have the turtle remix games that they put out here a few years ago, and you turn on the insanity mode for the arcade version, you'll load that up and it will go crazy.
Nice.
I gotta try that now.
Yeah, but that's just the difference. Just the difference in the hardware back at the time. So I think that would be fun to do, to limit it to those things, and then yeah.
Yeah, I mean, plus it would kind of give people a chance to go kind of reminisce. Like, say you get people going to say, "Hey, I want you to pick. Let's hey, let's talk about let's talk about a console, and then maybe this list of 10 games are just off limits for picking tracks from."
Yeah, because they're automatic S tiers. All the Mario Brothers, all the Mega Man. Although I guess we could have one Mega Man. The question becomes which one. But yeah, the Metroid, any of the games that came from Nintendo that we all know and play and love. But yeah, there's definitely some bangers out there that were not made by Nintendo. And as I said, the Batman one is an example.
And well, even with Mega Man, some of like the side games have amazing soundtracks. Mega Man Battle Network has some of my favorite Mega Man music in it.
Yeah,
and that was the Game Boy Advance.
It's amazing what they could do.
And all right, I'll give you a little snippet of that, and then we'll wrap up. Just to give one last little track here to end on.
I never played the Battle Network stuff.
Yeah, neither did I.
Yeah, it's just like you pop that cartridge in, that press start pops up. You get that going, like, oh shit! Now I don't even need the game. I just need this.
Oh yeah.
The GBA was quite an impressive little. I remember when it first came out, and they actually did release some audio technical demos of what the sound could do. I wish I still had those files because they were pretty slamming.
Really?
Yeah. I said I remember all that because I big in the internet at that time. Right at the 20s, had the money. I had my Game Boy Advance fairly close to day one, so.
I remember getting mine for like a birthday gift because I think that was 2001. So I might have been turning to 11, 12. Good times.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Anyway, so guys, we got your links. We got your links down in the description, and we had Vince dropping links for you guys throughout the show. Let's do a quick go around, then we can call it. Punk Waddle, what do you have coming up this week?
Well, might be hanging out with Snacks tomorrow. We also have on Floor from the Rock, I meant to mention this earlier today, we are celebrating our 2K subscriber. So we're going to have people on and just going to say, hey, congratulations, and just have a fun little hangout. So look forward to that on Wednesday.
Okay.
Friday is going to be Fortnite Friday. Saturday is the Ice House, and we'll see what the Cotton Council is up to on Saturday night.
Excellent. And of course, you're also on Twitter as well, I believe.
Yes, I'm Punk Waddle. Twitter, I'm at Punk Waddle. Most places that I've found worth getting social media on.
Glad to hear it. Brandon, what's coming up for you? Because I saw you were playing some more Nino Kuni today.
Yep, finally got more Nino Kuni time in, getting our man Ollie all leveled up and trying to chase down Shadar and trying to beat that game. That game is going to take me forever. I'm already like 18 hours in.
You made the mistake of trying to do a let's play for a JRPG.
Yes, I did. But tomorrow, I just got confirmation. Our man Legal Mindset Andrew is available. So we're going to do a special time tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. So 8 for you Central peeps, 7 for me, for an hour and a half, and we're gonna try and load him up with all sorts of good anime recommendations because he's always looking for new stuff to talk about, and we're just gonna have some fun and chill and all that gloriousness.
Well, I hope you take the time to talk about the glory that is plus size elf. In this age of body positivity, I think there's one anime that needs to be highlighted. It is about a chubby elf.
I'm not gonna lie, all the talk of French fries, I haven't had McDonald's in over a year or two, and I went out, definitely got a chicken sandwich, not the beef, but I did get a large fry, and I ate that and was happy.
I should have got the fries because my ramen meal cost me quite a bit yesterday. But you know what? That was just so damn funny. Plus size elf was hilarious.
Yeah,
and I'm sad it's only an 11-minute episode, but yeah, it's good. And I don't know if I could get away with showing any of the unrated parts of it.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think so. And no, I hear you. I hear you, Mad Dog. Yeah, I can understand why.
It's a bit of an acquired taste. Not every anime is going to appease to everyone. So that's how it goes sometimes.
That is true.
Yeah. No,
But I did pick up one more show, Wistoria Wand and Sword. I think it could go places.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm always one for a good magic fantasy series.
Yeah.
Well, this one, let's see. What is there anything kind of close to it? I know someone mentioned another show that had a similar idea, but base idea: main character he's basically Mashal but without the muscles, but instead is awesome as a sword and a fighter. But he doesn't have the thing for cream puffs, so it's more serious. But yeah, it's in some ways it's Mashal, but I love Mashal, so there you go. That's one to check out. Everything else that I've watched, I love. I'm not dropping anything yet. I don't have a reason to drop anything, and I do have to say though, A Journey Through Another World, Raising Kids While Adventuring, it gets 9 out of 10 cavities.
Oh.
Yeah, it's this season's Fluffy Paradise, and I adored Fluffy Paradise.
And also, what was it 'Tis Time for Torture Princess?
Yes. At least with 'Tis Time for Torture, it's getting a second season.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, they announced it right at the end of the first season. They're getting a second.
Maybe I just forgot that, but I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah. So if you like the stuff that's going to rot your teeth out, that's the show.
And it's always worth having at least one of those in the roster.
Yes.
This season for me, I'm going a bit lighter on the current stuff. Maybe I'll pick some stuff up as the season goes on and I get more good word of mouth. But right now, it's primarily Grendizer and Plus Size Elf, and I chose to finally go ahead and start through Neon Genesis Evangelion.
I need to do Evangelion, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pull myself into that level of depression. But out of I will say this: the rumor is floating around that My Dear Friend Nakorotan is all translated by AI.
That is going to be a curious case to follow because I wonder. Well, there's the question of who did the translating, or who's the one who was controlling the AI there, who programmed the AI, and who's getting final say over that. So maybe it's a step in the right direction, or maybe someone read into an AI. Yeah,
it's possible, but yeah, all the shows all the shows I've got, I don't foresee dropping any of them, at least not yet. If I absolutely had to, maybe Dungeon People. That's a way different take on dungeon crawling, but that's for another time. But yeah, so far so good. Not too heavy. I've already cleaned up about 3 shows. I have been watching Ramen Fighter Miki, which is hilarious.
It's one that's always kind of been on my to watch list. It always kind of floats to the top, and I go to press it, then I sort of move on, and I'm like, I'll watch some other stuff.
Yeah, but yeah,
anyway.
I'm cleaning it up. So
as for myself, tomorrow night is Talk Hard, and while we meant to get to Jaws last week, thanks to the 4th, because of 4th of July, but with weather and that happening, we're gonna have to put it on a hiatus for a while. I think we'll get back to it later, but tomorrow night we are going to some classic tokusatsu with War of the Gargantuans, where we get to have a good and evil Frankenstein kaiju.
Oh,
very nice.
Available on YouTube. Tomorrow night is also our little midweek in geek with T-shirt. So we got links for that, and the links for that drop throughout the show. Friday night will be the Clobby's Comic Corner, as named after our dearly departed friend Clobberin Times, where we will be talking some comic books, and of course Saturday's the Week in Geek. But by the way, Matt, I am sorry I missed you. I would have dropped you a link if I had seen it before, but I had too many windows up. I am sorry about that. I'll get you on next week. How's that sound? But until next time, guys, let's go out on something epic here.
mm-hmm.
And really,
Epic is
was
good.
there anything more epic that came out this year than Bravern?
Maybe Grandizer when it's done, but no, nothing yet.
Until then, though, take care, guys.
Yeah.